everyone, and welcome to episode number 13 of the Millard and Block Pod. It is Sunday, July 28th, 2024. Man, I remember when I was 13. I am your host, Nordic97 here, who, again, is bored in the offseason and is in very sore pain. Been playing a lot of hockey recently, playing some deck hockey, which is very new to me. For those who do not know what that is basically just without skates. You just run. And I'm here with LeBlanc, who was in Toronto for nearly 24 hours. LeBlanc, how we doing?
We tired. We took the midnight bus home and the 5 a.m. train in, so we still recovering.
So, what time did you get up to go to Toronto? Because you live in Ottawa. And what time did you get home?
So, I got up at 4:30 in the morning.
Jesus Christ.
And then I got my train got into Toronto around 10 o'clock. My train left at 5:45 in the morning. Got off, and then we spent the day we went around some hockey shops. We went downtown for a bit. Went mini putting. I went to the Jays game where they unfortunately did lose by 2 runs to the Tampa Bay Rays. And
usual Jays loss.
And then back to the bus station. Bus was supposed to leave at 11:30. Bus ended up leaving at 12, and then we got stuck in traffic. But then the worst part was we had to transfer buses at like 3 in the morning.
And you were worried you were going to get stuck, too. You were going to get stuck in Kingston, Ontario at like 3 a.m. Yikes.
And then I had our good friend of the show, Riley. He helped me stay awake. We were chatting all night. So he made sure I could, not miss my bus. We rolled in late. And all of a sudden I'm like, I got to get off the bus. I got to get off the bus right now. And then when I got to that bus, I tried to go to sleep. And then I got back into Ottawa at like 5 in the morning. And then I didn't get home.
The next day.
I didn't get home till like 6:15 in the morning. And then after that, I crashed.
So this guy was basically up for like 26 hours around there?
26, 27 hours. And I was like dozing off on the bus. I'm like, I gotta go home.
And then didn't you have work at 4 that day?
I was supposed to go to work. I was like, nah, I can't. I literally can't. Because I woke up around like 1:30. So I'm like, I can't.
Can't do this anymore. All right, well, we got hockey stuff. There's not a ton here, but we did see some things on social media that are worth talking about. This first post comes from Bar Down. Yeah, Bar Down. They asked who will win the Vezina trophy in the 2024-2025 season. They have 6 goalies pictured on here. They have Connor Hellebuyck, Andrei Vasilevsky, Igor Shesterkin, Hussein Saros, Ilya Sorokin, and Sergei Bobrovsky. So, goalies that have won the Vezina or have come pretty close to winning the Vezina in the last couple of years. So, Hellebuyck won this past year's one in 23-24. I would say the front runner for this coming year is probably Hellebuyck again. I don't know if LeBlanc's with me on that. Yes, he's nodding his head. So, LeBlanc, if you had to give like your 3 finalists for the Vezina right now, who would they be?
I'm going to go Connor Hellebuyck. I'm going to go with Jeremy Swayman.
Ooh.
Then I'm going to go off the board. I'm going to go off the board. Let's see if I can go off the board.
I'm pissing people off here. Let's see.
I'm going to go with Logan Thompson.
Really?
Yeah.
Logan Thompson in Washington?
No, he's the backup. That doesn't make any sense. Excuse me, I'm going to go use Saros.
Okay.
I'm like, wait, he could be the starter, and they're going to be tandems. Like, that doesn't really make much sense then.
He tried to give an interesting take. Maybe the William M. Jennings LeBlanc. Maybe him and Lindgren will get that. If I had to give my finalist, it'd be Hellebuyck. I'm going to put Shesterkin in there, and then I think I'm going to go Swayman, like you. I think that, those are 3 really good goalies who have all been Vezina finalists at one point. I think Swayman's been in the finalists, right? Or maybe not.
I don't believe so, no.
Okay, well, besides Swayman, who would be a first-time finalist, those are all guys who have either won or have come close to winning Vezinas before. Regardless, who do you think is a goalie that could be like a dark horse in the Vezina race? Like Logan Thompson.
I'm thinking right now.
Well, it's a matter of and I don't mean to interrupt you, but it's a matter of if a team really performs really well out of nowhere, their goalie could be in the conversation. But it's a matter of that.
I'm going to give 2. I'm going to one for the East, one for the West.
Okay, I'll do the same.
Jacob Markstrom.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking too. I'll go with Markstrom as well.
And then I'm thinking one of the teams on the board behind me. I got 2 jerseys behind me.
Ooh, I was just looking at them too.
I'm thinking Joey Decord.
Yeah, I think the cord could be honestly like if Seattle with Montour and Stevenson as ads, they could be a lot better next year. And I think that the cord had a really good season despite the team not being so great. And I think with that could really get them into it could get them into the Vezina conversation. If I had to give one, I don't know because there's Dackard that I think is obviously great. I'm looking at my board here. I don't think I would necessarily call him a dark horse because he was a finalist, but I'll take Demko because he's not in the conversation here. I don't know if he's a dark horse, but
I would say Demko's probably one at one. He's probably like one.
Oh wait, no. Jordan Bennington.
That's a dark horse.
I was like looking around my room because I have all these pennants up in my room right here with all the teams. I'm like, And like I looked at Seattle, and as soon as I looked at Seattle, you said the court, so I'm like, all right, great.
Oh, I was curious, and I got the Vezina odds up from FanDuel.
Oh, geez.
So I'm gonna just give you the top 5.
Bet wisely.
So number 1, like we said, it was Connor Hellebuck.
Okay.
Jeremy Swayman is number 2, actually.
Ooh.
Number 3, they have Igor Shesterkin.
Oh, look at that! That's my finalist board.
And then the X2, we got Demko at 4, and then we have actually Ilya Sorokin.
I think Sorokin could be poised for a really solid year because this past year, especially towards the end,
he was not great.
Not great. And Varlamov took over. That's how the team got into the playoffs. So I wouldn't rule that out. But regardless, I think that the Vezina race will be very fun next year, and I think it's something to definitely look at in the coming months. And we'll probably do some other trophies too along the way. Now, I saw this post from Sportsnet, moving on here now, a 3v3 overtime between Michigan alumni and Minnesota alumni, and it's basically 3 players that are alumni from those colleges. So you started with Michigan's Matty Beniers, Adam Fantilli, and Luke Hughes, and then for Minnesota you got Logan Cooley, Matthew Nyes, and Brock Faber. Hopefully I explained that well. But if you're taking those guys against each other in a 3v3 overtime, LeBlanc, who are you taking?
Whew, this is tough because, like...
This is tough. You got good pieces from both sides. You got Beniers in the back there. There you go.
Matty Beniers.
You got Brock Faber, who was terrific this past year. I don't know.
I honestly feel like this is tough because Brock Faber might be the best player on that list.
Well, here, let's compare it 1v1 before we go on.
That's how I like to do these two. So
you got Logan Cooley and Matty Beniers first. I'm probably leaning Beniers.
I'm leaning Beniers, even though he had a sophomore slump. But Cooley's coming along though.
Cooley just had his rookie season. I don't think he played as spectacular like I was expecting, but I still think he was really good and he's poised for a breakout year, like Beniers is too. So that's another big one. Fantilli versus Nyes is another one as well.
That one's tough because
yeah,
it's tough because Fantilli was mostly on the 4th line, 3rd line due to Pascal Vincent, who just I'm not
and he was
on him, but like didn't really use him properly. Then you got Matthew Nyes, who every year is like, oh, he's gonna break out, and then he ends up just being like a serviceable 3rd liner.
I like Nyes though.
I do like Nyes as well. Fun fact: when I was when Toronto came to Ottawa, I actually saw a bunch of people in Matty Beniers' Minnesota Golden Gophers jerseys.
Oh wow!
So I don't know. I'm gonna take Fantilli. I'm gonna lean towards Fantilli.
And then you got Luke Hughes and Brock Faber. I think I go Faber. At least as of right now. Mm-hmm. Faber had a great rookie year compared to Luke Hughes. Hughes still had a really good year, but Faber, man, carried that blue line.
Faber was a finalist for the Calder. There's a reason for that.
Yes. And I think Luke Hughes was up there in votes, but he wasn't a finalist like Faber. So overall in this 3v3, I probably lean Michigan. What do you think?
Even though I'm a big Michigan State guy, so I'm not too happy on taking Michigan. But but for the players I was given,
hey, I'm Penn State, so
yeah.
Well, to be honest, I think that in a couple of years it could definitely change. I think Cooley could be better than Beniers in a few years. It really depends on when you're looking at this down the road. So we'll move into news. Crickets. All right, thanks for watching. Anywho, there is some news to report on. Starting off with a few free agency re-signings. Going back to the Jackets, Ken Johnson re-signed a 3-year, $1.8 million deal. Johnson went from a pretty solid rookie year. I don't think he was a Calder finalist, but he had a solid enough rookie year to a really bad season this past year, playing some time in the NHL, facing some injuries. I think this deal is good, but I also think that Ken Johnson has a huge season ahead of him. I think LeBlanc will agree with me there.
Yes, I want to say that Johnson's had a really rough season. After he had a decent, promising season the season before, so I feel
Yes.
like this has to be the year because we heard people in last season calling Johnson might be entering bust territory. I don't really believe that. He had a really rough season. To our bounce back about that contract though, why would you sign for 3 years?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a little bit of a weird one. I figured it'd be like maybe a 1-year deal or even a
Because
2-year
it
deal, maybe.
seems
But I
like
guess,
I'm just
yeah,
going off of what I feel right now. It seems like down the road that's a very tradable contract.
yes, and it feels like a deal, and that's probably what it is. It feels like a deal where if Ken Johnson really pans out these next 3 years, that could be a freaking steal of a contract, less than $2 million. But if he bottoms out, you can just flip him. Like that's kind of how I look at this deal. It's a little bit surprising though. It is 3 seasons, but I guess they're really relying on him to be a solid forward. Another guy, his teammate Kirill Marchenko, signed a 3-year, $3.85 million extension. He did file for arbitration. Marchenko blossomed as a player who wasn't really looked at as much before. He took advantage of a pretty bad Blue Jackets team last season and played really well. And this year he continued that. I think this is a solid deal. Maybe a little bit more than I'd pay for him, but still a solid deal.
Yeah, I feel like a guy who's going to get you 20 goals, 20 assists, as your floor. I feel like that's a really good deal.
I think he has plenty more upside too. I think he could be a little bit better. I'm not sure. I'm not saying he's gonna be like a 30-goal guy, but I think this is a pretty solid contract overall. So Columbus,
that's why he's
what's
playing,
that?
that's why he's playing for the P and Raiders in the Dynasty League.
It's true. But Columbus, I think, did some pretty good jobs with signing their contracts. Now, the Philadelphia Flyers were in a lot of headlines this past week. On top of Matvei Michkov coming over. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait. I got one more thing here with Columbus.
Okay.
They hired Dean Evison as their brand new head coach. I feel like I shouldn't skip over that. Sorry. I almost went into Flyers talk, but I feel like I should talk about Evison here first. So, after firing Vincent later in the season, and obviously, the team with a lot of the moves in regards to Vincent, they weren't great. People wanted Vincent gone. I wanted Vincent gone. I think Evanson's a really good hire. I think he's going to help out these young guys. And people don't give him enough credit for a pretty bad Minnesota Wild team that he mentored to a few playoffs.
Yeah, I'll be honest. It's bittersweet because I really wanted Dean Evason to be the head coach of the Ottawa Senators. That was the guy I wanted, and then he goes to Columbus, and I think it's a great hire. He's good. He's good with young players. He holds his team accountable, but also sticks up for them when need be. So,
yep,
he's gonna have your back, but he's also gonna call you out on your shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think Evason's the perfect coach here for Columbus. I think that this franchise is finally turning for the better with Kekalainen gone, with Vincent gone, and bringing in Don Waddell and Dean Evason. I think this franchise is finally turning to the better. I think that's...
Don Waddell's a builder. He loves to build teams up. He did it with him.
We'll just see if he can get this team over the hump.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing.
The big thing is, Columbus has been I hate to say it. I do like the Jackets. Columbus, they always say we'll find a way to Columbus it up. They're just they draw well, but they're they're not talked about a lot league-wide.
Yeah, their attendance is really consistent for a team that has been bad for the past, 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, almost half a decade now, yeah.
Yeah, so they've been really consistent. All right, back to Flyers talk. I know I kind of interrupted. I kind of blue-balled the Flyers fans. I apologize. So Matvei Michkov came over. We'll start off with that. Michkov, after being reported that he wasn't going to come over for a few seasons, he came over this past year. So one thing that this past week, I guess, yeah. But one thing that I do have for LeBlanc here is, what do you think Matvei Michkov's expectations are and his stat line could be for his rookie season?
Well, I don't want. I'm not touting him as like he's the savior of the Flyers franchise.
No, he's not. I'm not saying that either as a
I've
Flyers.
seen that a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit. My expectation is he should at least, at the minimum, be a 20-goal scorer.
Yes, I think that, unless if he gets hurt, which is very possible, I think that Michkov's expectation should be 20 goals at least. Like, you look at Cole Caulfield. Caulfield really struggled in his rookie year, but I did think he ended the year with, I think, around 20.
Yeah,
right?
but he started the year with Dom Ducharme, who just put him in the minors.
Yeah. Well, Ducharme was a horrible coach, and yeah. But St. Louis came in, and Caulfield played really well. But I think Michkov, I've seen a lot of things that Tortorella might bench him at points and this and that, but I feel like...
We might need that.
What's that?
We might need that, though.
Yeah, true. I feel like the system the Flyers have built is built around Michkov.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the biggest thing. So I think Michkov could blossom, but I am expecting 20 goals this coming year. I'm not expecting a spectacular Calder season. Hey, he's going to compete for it. If he doesn't win it, that's okay. I'm not as high on him as other Flyers fans may be heading into this season, which kind of sounds funny if you look at my TikTok. It's just Michkov posts. But I do think that the guy can be a really solid player in his first year, and he's going to be an impact player for many years down the road. But this year, at least 20 goals. Yeah, maybe around 40 points, too.
Yeah, I feel like his floor is at least 40 points.
Yes.
35 at minimum. And then
barring he doesn't get hurt.
Yeah, and I think his ceiling for the year has got to be 60.
Yeah, and who knows? He could surprise us even more. We'll see what Michkov can do in his rookie season. The other news involving the Philadelphia Flyers is with Travis Konechny. He signed an 8-year, $8.75 million contract that begins in the 2025-2026 season. Konechny is a player who, yes, he's never had a 70-point year, but he's missed a lot of time in his career. He scored 30 goals in less than 70 games. He's been a consistent 30-goal scorer these past couple of years, and he's only 27 years old. So I think the contract is good. It might be a little bit more than what I would pay for Konechny. I'd probably pay him just around $8 million, give him an 8x8. But I see the argument for 8.75, but I want to know what LeBlanc's thoughts are.
Well, you always look at the contract, and then you compare it to other contracts around the league. That's what fans always do. I saw a lot of, Konechny makes more than Jack Hughes. Konechny makes more than Tim Stützle. Konechny makes more than Brady Tkachuk, just from my end. He makes more than Suzuki.
Timo Meier as well.
Timo Meier.
Wait, no. Meier makes a little bit more than him, I think.
Meier makes I think he makes 8.9 or 9.
I think he makes 8.8. I think it's 250K. Whatever. Anywho, continue.
You look at Konechny, you look at the kind of player Konechny is, you don't get a lot of players like Konechny. He plays with an edge. He's basically a power forward who could score. And it's really hard to get a power forward. Yes, there's a bunch of power forwards around the league, but it's hard to find ones that can put up consistent 30-goal, 25-goal seasons. I do think the contract. I'll be honest. The contract, him signing, surprised the hell out of me. That was a curveball I was not expecting.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming either. I figured we would have waited a little bit longer, but I guess they want to lock him up now.
Yeah, and I figured that maybe they would have gone into the season, and then maybe if Flyers are struggling, maybe trade him or maybe extend him. But I think the contract. How old is Kenny now? He's got to be 20.
He is 27.
27. So that contract takes until he's 34.
I believe so.
34, 35. I feel like the contract in the short term is a good deal, but once it gets to the end of that contract, it might age a little poorly. But all players regress due to age. But I feel like the Flyers did good work here, and I think also he has a no trade clause that kicks in.
Yes, I believe he does too. I mean, people are saying that he gets paid more than Hughes and Konechny. I don't think that that's necessarily... Well, when Hughes signed his contract, he signed it, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Right? So, back then, the salary cap was lower. We didn't know the cap was going up.
Yeah.
And with the cap going up, players are going to want more money. And I think that, yes, should he be paid more than Hughes? Probably not. Obviously. But I think with the way the cap's going, and I think with how valuable Konechny's been to the Flyers, I think this deal makes a lot of sense. And as well as this, too, it shows that the Flyers, they're going with the faith that they're going to turn this around within the next 2 to 3 seasons and make this team like a Stanley Cup team. I'm not 100% sure if I am of the party of that we can do it within that amount of time. I was on board with trading Konechny. I think I even made videos saying it should happen. I was of the party that it should happen. But I understand the factor that you want to keep this player. He's very talented. It's just a matter of making the right moves in the coming off seasons to really put this team back over the hump and get them into a playoff spot here. So that's the biggest thing that I look at when I look at the Flyers. So, yeah.
But yeah, going back to the to salary cap up. But yeah, like we need to accept that when the cap going up, the contracts are going to be bigger now.
Exactly. It's the biggest thing.
Yeah, and like you look
like if Hughes, sorry to interrupt you. If Hughes got paid today, he would get like 10 mil.
He'd be getting 10 and a half.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, and like we're gonna see obviously that doesn't mean like that makes the bad contract good. Now like Darnell there is starting for 9.2. That's still not a good contract.
Yes, it's not a good contract. You're right.
That was an unnecessary stray, but it had to be said. But
sorry, Oilers. We'll get into you in a little bit. We do have something we want to bring up with you, but yeah, again, I think that with the cap going up, it makes contracts more expensive. And I just think that overall, I think this deal is the right deal. And the Flyers have money. They're going to have money next offseason. They have a few guys expiring that I think are going to be really beneficial to this team. Obviously, they'll lose some money with Konechny, but they'll have money to make moves next season for sure. So that's something that I'm a big fan of with Philadelphia. Moving on now, we got a few other signings here. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen signed a 5-year, $4.75 million contract. I think this is a pretty good deal. Luukkonen had a really good year with Buffalo that wasn't looked at too much. This deal, though, puts him as the starter, and it makes me wonder, like, what's going to happen with Devin Levi? Is he going to be the backup for that long?
That's the one thing that everybody says. Like, are they going to? One thing I thought, are they going to trade Levi? No, he's 22 years old. They're not going to trade Levi. What's going to happen is, I think Levi might need longer to develop. Like, he might need a few more years.
Exactly.
And like, let's say he's not ready next year. Let's say in 2 years he should be the starter. That means you either have.
Is he going to be the backup?
He should be the backup. They signed Reimer, so maybe Levi goes back to the AHL. But in 2 years, I'm just doing long term here. Levi should be ready in 2 years.
Yes.
After that, you tandem them, or you have to trade him. And I will say, Luukkonen, as the season as a whole, had a okay season. His second half was amazing, though.
Yes, that's very true. Like the Sabres, they had a really good second half.
But now the question is, was it a flash in the pan, or is this how he's going to play starting next season again?
I think the deal is good. The years, though, are a little bit kind of iffy with me. I would have signed him to maybe a 3-year deal. I think the salary is good. 4.75, I think, is solid for a goalie like him.
I don't mind the salary. It's the term that really I question.
Yeah, the term's weird because they're putting him as the starter, because what? How old is he? He is 25, so that would take him till he's 30. Puts it in a very interesting spot. I don't know. We'll see how that develops over the next couple of years. But Luukkonen, a very interesting deal there. I think that's.
It's funny because last offseason, they were trying to get rid of Luukkonen.
Yes, they were. I remember that.
And it's weird. It's like, yeah, we'll take anything. Now it's like, hey. That don't matter. Sign the contract.
Nope. Sign the contract. All right, one last piece of news here, and it's the news that I've been avoiding. The Edmonton Oilers made a very controversial move this past week. They hired Stan Bowman as their GM and Executive Vice President of Hockey Operations. For those who do not know, the former Blackhawks general manager was ruled eligible to return to the NHL, along with Joel Quenneville on July 1st. They were both, I guess, banned from the NHL after the sexual assault involving the Chicago Blackhawks 2010 team was confirmed, and after a few years of not being in the league and doing some things off the ice, both these staff have been reinstated, and the Oilers, not even a week later, are the first team, or I guess a few weeks later, are the first team to hire one of these guys, and hiring Stan Bowman. So, scandal aside, LeBlanc, and I don't want to demote the scandal
we
at all.
won't
But
touch on that. It's
yeah,
too serious. It's serious enough that we're not going to discuss.
yeah.
What
But
happened.
scandal aside,
Mm-hmm.
is Bowman a good GM?
I just want to say one thing: the Oilers love controversy.
Yes,
They
do.
love
Corey Perry,
controversy.
Evander Kane.
How
about it?
They're like, I want to say, the Dallas Cowboys of the NHL, like where they just bring in guys who have like just shady characters. But I think you look at Bowman as a GM, he didn't build that Chicago team.
Yes, he didn't.
That was
a lot of it was there for him.
That was Dale Talon. It's all there for him. And now, once again, it's all there for him again. Bowman had some very controversial decisions after the dynasty was over.
He was, at best, middling. Like, middle of the pack.
Like, he's okay. Like, I would say, as a general manager in Chicago, he was, like, a 6 out of 10. Like, slightly.
Traded Brandon Saad 3 times. In 12 years.
Yeah, I don't understand that. How do you trade Brandon Saad 3 times and then lose every single trade when you trade Brandon Saad?
Pretty much. One of those was the Panarin deal, which looks horrendous now.
That one still mind-boggles me to this day.
Imagine this, because if they kept Panarin, I think this team could be in a way better spot right now. Like, they could still have Panarin, Kane, DeBrincat.
Yeah, like, Panarin. I think Panarin probably still would have left.
True. I mean, I'm not saying that it wouldn't have happened, but still, like, it's just wild how things went that way. And then there's a Seth Jones deal, which I remember at the time, because that was at the time when we were friends.
That trade is just so... That trade is bad. That contract is worse.
It's one of the worst trades in recent memory. And it made zero sense, too. Like, Bowman looked at that Blackhawks team, which overachieved in the bubble. Didn't even make the playoffs, but they played well in points, and they looked like they were a playoff team, and then they just fell out at the last minute.
Remember?
And Bowman thought...
Super team.
What's that?
Remember? Yeah. Super team. We're bringing in Seth Jones, Marc-Andre Fleury. Let's go.
Jake McCabe as well, I remember. And like I remember people even said that the Blackhawks were like going to be decent this year. I'm like, no, they're going to be terrible. What are you talking about? That whole year was just such a controversial year for the team. And then obviously the scandal came out and Bowman was had to resign and was banned. But this it feels like there were better options out there. Undeniably, there were better options out there for sure.
There are better, less controversial options out there. Definitely. I think Jeff Jackson said he didn't want to be the GM. Maybe he should have been the GM because he was cooking. He was cooking a little bit.
He was doing really well. I think every single move he made was good.
Yeah.
To be honest. Now, Bowman, thankfully, doesn't really have to do anything. Besides, I guess, look at the Draisaitl and McDavid extensions and kind of just work that out. Apart from that, doesn't really have to do anything. I think all of their free agents are signed, if I'm correct. I don't believe they have anyone else to sign.
I don't believe so.
Besides maybe some... Oh, they have Dylan Holloway and Philip Broberg. That's it. That's their only guys they have left to sign. So that's basically all Bowman has to do, and then this team's pretty much ready for him. And it's going to be one of those instances, again, where this team could win the Cup in the next 3 years, and Bowman's going to look like the man who did it all.
Bowman's going to just kick his feet up because it happened in Chicago, and very well could happen again.
Yes, exactly. So, again, I am not a fan of this. I think that it's stupid. And, I'm all for second chances, but this is just not it.
I mean, I'm over for second chance, second opportunities, but, like, just the way, like, it was so soon. It tells me hockey still has a lot of work to do.
It does. It does before it's taken seriously. Yeah. All right, moving on from that, I believe that is all the news from recently. There's been a whole lot of nothing. It's been boring. Just some signings. I think that's what next week's going to look like, too. So we have a fun thing we're going to do over the next 4 episodes here. We are going to be drafting, we're a joint draft here, of our Atlantic Division team. So we're going to be doing a team based off of the Atlantic Division. That makes any sense. So we're going to do 4 forwards, 1 extra forward, or I guess 13 forwards, 7 defensemen, and 3 goalies. So that's going to be a fun thing we do. LeBlanc, do you want to explain the rules of this game we are doing?
So we have to pick at least one player from every team in the division. It's not negotiable.
So we can't just not pick Montreal.
Yeah, so we have to pick Montreal somewhere. And then you can't pick 4 players or more from a team.
So we could pick
multiple players from other teams. Like, So we can't just like, oh, fuck it, Florida. Let's just...
Yeah, let's just do the core four and Morgan Right. Yeah, we can't do that. So obviously someone that may be on this list, but regardless, we're doing it together. LeBlanc's gonna go first. I'm gonna go second, and we're gonna have some fun here. So LeBlanc, if you wanna, I guess we should start with forwards, right?
Yeah, we'll do forwards and we'll go to the defensemen. So for my forward, I am gonna take arguably maybe like the number 2 center in the game. We're gonna go Austin Matthews at our center spot.
So Matthews there at first line center. I think that's a great choice. I think it's what more could you start out with there for Matthews at center? Does it have to be specifically left wing or specifically right wing?
I do not care.
Okay, just making sure because I don't know if Kucherov's left or right, and it's that's my guy I'm going with. I'm going with Kucherov.
I'm gonna just look it up just so I can put it on the list.
Okay, I think he's a right wing. I believe, but it doesn't really matter. So
he's a right wing.
Yes, he's a right wing.
Well,
so I guess
Kucherov on the wing with Matthews sounds like it's game over already.
Yeah, honestly, that team's already loaded. Look at that.
All right, now we're looking at the Atlantic Division. Now I have to think because I need to get like Art Ross in front of me now because I got to think about this. At my other winger. Why am I blanking? I hate this. I'll think about it. I locked in my brains for so long. It's like, oh yeah, no, you can just blank out.
Huh. Hang on, I'm looking up the scoring. I think I have an idea of who I want to go with next, but
I'm debating between I'm gonna go with David Pastrnak.
All right, so are we putting him on that first line or putting him on the second line?
I gotta see what position he plays.
He's a right wing.
He's a right wing, so he'll go second line then.
I guess we will do it. Specific.
Yes, we'll do Pacifics then because.
Yeah.
Pasta goes on the second line right wing spot.
Okay, that leaves me. That was who I was gonna go with. Let me think here. Hang on a second. Let me look for. Yeah, I think I'm going to go Matthew Tkachuk. He's a left winger. This might be a list where you see both Tkachuks on the list. So
you went with Matthew Tkachuk?
Yes. No, I actually went with Brady Tkachuk first line.
Matthew Tkachuk is I'm pretty sure he is a left winger.
Imagine Matthew Tkachuk, or imagine Brady Tkachuk and Austin Matthews in the same line.
It's perfect though. You have all this. You have skill and speed. Then you have just like tough and like
skill, speed, and the Russian.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so first line is Matthew Tkachuk, Austin Matthews, Nikita Kucherov.
I'm gonna take our next center. Braden Point.
Ooh, yes. I was thinking about Point.
I finally have a list in front of me, so I don't have to just like
Alright, next up. So what we already have.
So we don't have
player.
So we don't have any duplicates so far, and we just need to keep picking guys. I'll let you know when you've reached a limit or something.
Ooh, I'm doing some investigating here. I'm just like scrolling on my thing here. I'm gonna go with. Oh, we already have 2 Tampa players. I don't want to use that up. I think I'll go with.
You do have 2.
It's taking me a little bit to think of. This is kind of difficult. Wow, this is hard. Because I don't want to use. Because this is 4. I don't want to use up all of our slots.
Yeah.
It's the biggest.
No, I don't.
I don't want to. Because I could easily go Tampa here, but I don't want to do that. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Willie Nylander on the third line right wing.
Yeah, I was thinking about Nylander for my next pick.
Just get that right wing slots out of the way.
All right, so Nylander's there. So now we have 2 Leafs, 2 Bolts, a Panther, and a Bruin. Which means 4 hour. My God, how did I? Ooh, shoot. Fuck it. We're gonna take him. Barkov. Imagine have
We might have to change our rules here.
yeah.
Barkov, third line center. I think we're going to run out of picks
You want to
before we
make
get
it
to
5?
goalies. Yeah, we can make it 5.
Yeah.
I think 5 is fair.
I think I might have to move Barkov up to the second line actually, but we'll deal with that after.
We'll debate a little bit after.
Right.
Next up for me, I think I'm gonna go with. So we already had 2 players from there. I think I'm gonna go. I don't want to put him there. I don't want to ignite this. Let me see if there's any other. You know what? I think I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go with Timmy Stew at the 4th line center.
That's I don't know. Like that's a tough one for me because like yes, ooh, there's a fair.
Me saying it's better than you saying it. That's what I'll. That's all
yeah,
I'll
no,
say.
because I said, oh my god, LeBlanc.
Oh, come on! Bias! Matthews is better! He is, but, you know.
What? There's no Cole Caulfield? Like,
No Caulfield, come on. No Suzuki?
Speaking of that, I am... Oof.
I don't know. I couldn't think of any other centers. Like, who's my next one? Tage Thompson? Like,
yeah, Tage. I think Stu's better than Tage.
Yes.
Ooh. I don't want to do it because we already have 2 of them, but I might have to do this one because he's like the best player available.
I got one.
And what position is he? I don't even know what position. I don't even know what wing he's on. We're going Mitch Marner.
All right.
I don't know.
I think Marner's a right wing.
All right,
Marner's
so
a right
all
wing.
of our right wingers are gone.
Okay.
Unless you want.
Well, I'm gonna take a left winger. I'm gonna go with Brad Marchand.
Marshy.
I guess he's our second line, but we can debate that later.
We'll order these after.
So we have 2 Florida, 3 Toronto, 1 Ottawa, 2 Tampa. We're missing a Buffalo, Detroit, and a Montreal, if I'm correct. I think I'm going to do...
I think it's my turn.
Oh, it is your turn. My apologies.
I'm just looking here real quick. Ooh, I got 2 here that I got 2 here that I'm debating with, and I think I'm gonna go with Brady Tkachuk.
Brady Tkachuk, left wing?
Yes, he is a left wing. Him and his brother play the same wing, which is kind of funny. Everyone talks about them playing together when they literally are like I don't want to say that like Matthew's obviously better, but they're like basically the same player.
Yeah, Matt. I think they both bring that offense and that like toughness to them, but I think Tkachuk obviously has more offensive upside. Yeah. That's the biggest thing.
Our last spot. I know who I would pick here, but I'm gonna give it to you.
So that leaves us our 4th line winger slot. I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go a little bit off the board. Lucas Raymond.
I was gonna pick Lucas Raymond actually.
All right, okay. I was wondering if you were gonna go that direction, but I thought you were gonna go like someone from Buffalo or whatever. But hey, I like that. All right, so we gotta pick an extra forward now.
You know who I'm picking? No, I'm thinking.
Who are you going with?
Larkin.
Yes. When I found out I was thinking in my head, I'm like, oh my god, why did I go?
Because I know if we don't have Larkin on here, then we're gonna get clowned.
I mean, we don't have Suzuki on here, so we're probably gonna get clowned anyways. All right, so our forward core goes as follows: first line Matthew Tkachuk, first line Matthew Tkachuk, Austin Matthews, Nikita Kucherov. Second line Brad Marchand, Braden Point, David Pastrnak. Third line Brady Tkachuk, Alexander Barkov, Willie Nylander. And then 4th line Lucas Raymond, Tim Stützle, and Mitch Marner. And then for our extra forward we have Dylan Larkin. So LeBlanc, would you make any changes to this?
I think I would move Barkov up to the second line and move.
Probably, I think I would do that too.
Like Barkov Point. I love Braden Point, but Barkov brings a 2-way game that Braden Point just does not have. Barkov's a Selke winner. I need him on my second line. Him with Pastrnak would be really interesting to see.
Yeah, that'd be pretty fun. All right, so we have 2 Florida, 2 Detroit, 2 Ottawa, 3 Toronto, 2 Tampa. We don't have any for Buffalo or Montreal just yet.
But we have to pick Buffalo or Montreal. And since I went first last time, you're gonna go first this time.
Well, I'm going to remove a Buffalo player off the board here. I'm going to take Rasmus
I
Dahlin.
figured that's what you were going to do, so.
Does it matter what side
Yes,
winger?
we're going to make sure we get these right. Because,
So
obviously, like in real life,
Dahlin's right or left, though?
He's left. Darlene is left.
Oh, it just says... I'm looking at cap wages. It says...
I mean, he shoots left, so I assume he plays left side.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I figured Darlin's probably you could argue he's the best. You could argue it. It's arguable. I'm going to go with... Ooh, there's two guys I'm debating with. Because one of them is young, and you could definitely put him here. The other one is like very established though, and he has the accolades. And I'm gonna go with a guy who has the accolades. I'm gonna go with Victor Hedman.
Yeah, I was looking at Hedman, and I was wondering if you were gonna go with him or you were gonna go with.
Pretty sure I know Hedman's right shot. So.
Yeah. All right. Let me do my investigation.
Dahl and Hedman's our first pairing.
Oh, okay. All right. So Dahlin and Hedman. I'm looking at defensemen around the league. I think I'm gonna lean. So what? So the only team we need is Montreal. That's the only team that we need to put in, which I think was what we expected. I think I'm gonna go, and the people of Hockey Talk are not gonna like it, but I'm gonna go with Jake Sanderson.
You know, I was gonna leave him till the end, but I guess we can
get him out of the way now.
Yeah, he is a left shot defenseman.
So he'll get on our second pairing.
Which makes my decision very easy. Who I'm going to go with my right shot. Wait, does he play right shot? He does shoot. This is tough. Oh my god. I was gonna go Mo Sider, but I gotta go Charlie McAvoy.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
my god!
I totally forgot about McAvoy.
Cannot forget him. Well, since that being said, I'm going to back up your pick here and go with Mo Sider for the third pairing guy. And then I think we're going to have... Oh, wait, it's you. Never mind.
Me. I got a left shot defenseman from the Atlantic Division. Now
I know who I would go with.
Ooh.
And it's only because we kind of have to bite the bullet and go with him, I guess.
I don't want to take Caden Gooley. But, I'm still looking. To see if I can find anybody else.
I mean, it says Mike Matheson's a left shot defenseman.
Do you want to go with? Do you want to make Matheson the extra? Or do you want to make him in the lineup?
It's up to you.
Yeah, because
who? Okay, all right. Let me ask you this: who do we put over him?
Hampus Lindholm.
See, I would take Lindholm. I would take Lindholm.
I would take Lindholm as well. So I think I wouldn't take. I'm looking at this. I wouldn't take Owen Power over
No, not yet.
Not yet.
I wouldn't take Ridley's son, or sorry, Morgan Riley. It was Chris Tanev, but no.
I'm looking.
I think Matheson's got to be our extra because I'm not putting Monson Ball on our goalies.
Yeah. So we're gonna go with Lindholm here. Lindholm. Which makes our Bruin total 4, so we have to...
Yeah, we got to make sure we don't go over here. Which I think that puts us in a perfect spot, though, actually.
Yeah.
So we have... I think we're good. I think we're okay. All right, so our defense is Rasmus Dahlin, Victor Hedman, first pairing. Second pairing, Jake Sanderson, Charlie McAvoy. Third pairing, Hampus Lindholm, Mo Sider, and then our extra is Mike Matheson, just because we kind of have to... Got to put a Montreal guy in there.
Like, here's the thing. I would put Suzuki at forward, but the Atlantic Division is so stacked forward.
The center depth is insane.
Yeah.
And I can't put Suzuki over Larkin or Stu or Point. Even though Habs fans will make the argument, I can't do it. All right, that leaves goalies.
And I think for goalies, this
goalies are simple.
Pretty easy. I'm going to ask you, who's the best goalie in the Atlantic Division? And I'm going to see if we can agree on this.
I would think Swayman. Unless I'm forgetting someone.
I'm going to lean Swayman, but there is another one that could argue it. But yeah, we'll go Swayman.
I think Swayman is the starter.
Yeah, so we can't use any more Bruins.
I think we can use... Yeah, so Bruins are out. I don't think I'm picking Corpusalo. So...
Making sure that... Okay. Yeah, so we only have 3 of them. I'm gonna take for the backup, and I want to, if you agree, we can debate this. Vasilevsky.
I think as of right now, I would definitely take Swayman over Vasilevsky.
Yeah. So,
but obviously the accolades give Vazzy the edge. But right now, I think it's Swayman.
Yes. So Swayman 1, Vazzy 2. Who are you taking?
That leaves our third string. We'll do it together. Who do you think?
Allmark.
I would think Allmark too, but who else? Well, so what? Montreal's
Montembeault. Toronto.
What about Bobrovsky?
Boom.
If we forgot Bob and put Allmark there, I think we would have gotten.
Yeah. Hey, wait, I'm making sure we have enough. Okay, so Kachuk, Barkov.
I think we do. We have no
Florida. Yeah, Bob. Ooh, that's what I mean. The Atlantic Division, it was like, the Atlantic Division is weak. I see that a lot. You look at the goaltending depth already. Like,
dude, this team is insane. Like, I mean, all the teams are going to be really good, but I think this team's insane.
The only change I would make, I would put McAvoy up on the first pairing with Dahlin and have Hedman with Sanderson.
You think so?
Hedman Sanderson pairing would go crazy though.
I don't know. I don't disagree with you. You want to run with that?
Yeah, sure. Let's run with it.
Alrighty. So, I guess I'll go over our team here really big. So, over to the offense. First line, Matthew Tkachuk, Austin Matthews, Nikita Kucherov. Second line, Brad Marchand, Alexander Barkov, David Pastrnak. Third line, Brady Tkachuk, Braden Point, and William Nylander. Fourth line, Lucas Raymond, Tim Stützle, and Mitch Marner. Extra forwards, Dylan Larkin. Defensive pairings, first pairing, Dahlin McAvoy. Second pairing, Sanderson Hedman. Third pairing, Lindholm Seider. Matheson the extra. And then goaltending, Swayman, Vasilevsky, and Bobrovsky. So, real quick, let's make sure we don't go over here and do our count for each team. So, Boston, we have 5.
Yeah, so we had the 4 originally. We probably couldn't put Lindholm there.
Probably, yeah. I don't know who we would have gone with.
Probably we would have put. You could argue probably you could put Shabbat, Morgan Riley, though. I don't think. Like I said, I think Morgan Riley is one of the most overrated defensemen in the league. Like I've said it multiple times off camera. Now it's out there, so
now it's out there. Buffalo. I think we only got Dahlin.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because I don't think anybody from Buffalo would make this roster. Like Tage Thompson, I'm not taking him over Dylan Larkin.
No. Detroit, I think we have 3.
Raymond, yes, Larkin, and Seider.
Florida, I think we have 3 as well.
Florida, Matthew Tkachuk,
Barkov
and Bob.
So yeah, 3. Montreal's 1. Ottawa, I think is 3.
Stützle, Tkachuk, Sanderson.
Tampa Bay, I think is
Kucherov, Point, Hedman, Vazzy.
4. And then Toronto, I think is 3.
We didn't take John Tavares. We didn't take Morgan Riley. We're not haters. Haters.
I think we're good. I think this is a pretty damn good team.
Yep.
This will be posted on our Instagram at NordBlockPod. I think this is a good team.
So you can yell at us there if it's bad.
Yeah, you can yell at us there. You don't have to yell at us through the podcast. You can go yell at us in the comment section of our Instagram. LeBlanc has a game to end this off. All right, LeBlanc, I'll let you explain the game. I gotta plug in my computer.
This is a favorite of mine. When I go live, I get this question so many times, and I'm gonna tell you this right now. It's start, bench, cut.
Oh, geez, here we go.
I get it a lot when I go live on TikTok, and then I've thought of it. So I mean, all these I've made a correlation with. Either it's their draft year, it's draft year, the nationality, or the position. So, this first one, and I want you to see if you can find the correlation.
All right.
Are you ready?
I am ready.
First one, start, bench, cut. Sam Reinhart, William Nylander, David Pastrnak. That's probably the toughest one I got for you today. I'm not going to lie.
Start Pastrnak. Bench Nylander. I guess I'm cutting Reinhardt. I don't know. I think Pasta is the easy start, in my opinion.
Yeah, it depends if you like Nylander more, if you prefer Reinhardt. I think I'm going to agree with you. I love Sam Reinhart, but...
I think I lean Nylander. Yeah. I think that of the core 4, I think he I don't want to say he's the best, but I think of the core four, he's definitely one who shows up in the playoffs the most and is definitely the most clutch, if that makes sense.
So, do you know what the correlation is between those three?
Did they all have over 100 points?
No.
Oh. Well, Pasternak's check. They're from the Atlantic?
Actually, well, they are from the Atlantic, yes, but that's not the correlation that I made. But I'll give it to you. Do you want to tell you?
They both scored over 30 goals or something?
The correlation is they're all drafted in the first round of 2014 draft.
Oh, wow. Well, yeah, I guess they were, weren't they?
Reinhardt was 2, Nylander was number 9, I believe, and Pasta's 26, 24? Not sure the exact.
Yeah, he was later.
All right, start, bench, cut. Andrei Vasilevsky, Igor Shesterkin, Ilya Sorokin.
They're all goalies.
Yes, that is not the correlation that I made, but yes, they are all goalies. Yes,
I think they're all Russian goalies. They're all Russian.
Yeah, they're all Russian.
Okay, so I got the correlation. What it was, Vasilevsky, Shesterkin, Sorokin?
Yes.
Okay, all right, so I start Sorokin.
Start Sorokin?
Oh, I mean Shesterkin, not Sorokin. You can tell I'm tired.
Yeah.
So start Shesterkin. Oh my god. Is it right now or like their whole career?
We'll go like at this very moment.
Okay, so I'm starting Shesterkin then. I'm benching Vazzy and I'm cutting Sorokin. Oh wait. Oh.
It's tough, right?
I don't know. I'm wearing an Islanders jersey. Yeah, that would look bad. I'm not an Islanders fan, by the way. If you watch these long enough, you know that I swap my jersey each pod. I think right now? Yeah, I think I'm going my current. I start Shesterkin, bench Vazzy, cut Sorokin, but I think you could intertwine it either way.
Yes. So the correlation was, you got it right, they're all Russian goalies. Yes, the last one, this one was a tougher one to gauge, but I think this one might be the toughest one of the night, actually.
Okay.
Start, bench, cut. Erik Karlsson, Victor Hedman, Drew Doughty.
I'd say they're all Swedish. I don't think Doughty's Swedish.
Doughty's not Swedish. He's from London, Ontario.
Well, they're all defensemen.
Yes, that's not the correlation that I made, though.
You hate them all. I don't know.
They've all won a certain award.
Oh, Norris.
They all won the North Trophy.
Doughty, Hedman, Karlsson. Yep. At this very moment, probably start Hedman. That's easy. I don't know. It's like a mid-off. Between Karlsson and Doughty, I don't know. I would probably bench Karlsson, cut Doughty, but I don't know. I think Doughty gets underappreciated sometimes. Where do you stand on this?
I for years, like I remember there was a stretch of years where he was just bad. Like he had 2 stretch of years he were just like not good. Then he had a nice bounce back, and now he's like he gets disrespected a little bit. I don't know. I'm gonna ask this question again once you answer it as well in a different context.
Okay.
So, what's your final answer for this one?
Start Hedman, bench Karlsson, cut Doughty.
In their prime, do you still have that?
I was like 7 years old.
You weren't around for Karlsson's prime. Karlsson was like, I know from my trade, like there was a point in time where we consider Erik Karlsson like the 3rd best player in the league.
This probably makes you guys feel old, but I barely remember Karlsson on the Senators. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I have a Karlsson jersey. It's not out here right now, but I have a Karlsson jersey, but I barely remember the guy on the Sens. In their primes, probably Karlsson. Then I would Karlsson, Doughty. I'd probably go the opposite order.
Really?
Start Karlsson, bench Doughty, cut Hedman.
Ooh, that's I would go Karlsson, Hedman, Doughty.
Okay. I mean, I wasn't. It's kind of hard for me to answer that because I wasn't like.
Yeah, no, I understand. And I think I would say this again. I think Karlsson should have, because he has He's 3 Norrises now. He should have 5. Because I think he got robbed in 2014 by not 2014. That was 2015 by Doughty, or one of those years by Doughty, and another year by Brent Burns in 2017.
This could be a conversation for another episode.
Yeah, because
when was Erik Karlsson robbed of his Norris?
Me and Dylan have this conversation every 2 weeks. Because I always tell Dylan, because he's a Kings fan, I really a Kings fan, I was like, hey, kids, if you whine and moan as much as me, one day you'll win the Norris. I am Drew Doughty.
Oh, but yeah, like I wasn't like the. I was like 5 when the Kings won in 2012, and I was like 7 when they won in 2014. So it's kind of difficult for me to like
That makes me
correlate
feel
with that.
so old. It's not even funny. I was.
I'm sorry,
I
but
was
like I've seen Carlson perform really well, even at this stage in his career.
when the Kings won in 2012. I think I was in grade 8.
Jesus Christ, I was literally in grade like 3 or no, grade 1.
Oh my god.
Who the hell knows? Yeah, sorry to make you feel
I think
old.
that's where we're gonna end it off here today.
You want me to end this so you don't start crying because of how old you
All
are?
right, let's just end it off here.
He's not that old. He's only like 42. No, I'm kidding. He's like 20. He looks like he's in his teens, doesn't he? He looks like he's
my
19.
mid-20s.
All right, okay, all right. I'll stop offending you. Anywho, that'll do it for this episode. LeBlanc, any final thoughts?
Not much. Not gonna lie. We still got a lot of offseason to go.
Yeah. By the way, for those who are wondering, we will be doing these drafts. Like, we'll do the Metro next week. We'll do the Central and the Pacific. Just something fun to do while we're bored as hell in August. It was LeBlanc's idea, so round of applause to LeBlanc. Anywho, that'll conclude this episode of the Nord and Block Pod. Thank you all for watching or listening. If you enjoyed on the YouTube end of things, like, subscribe down below. If you're watching on the podcast end of things, give us a good review, tell your friends, and listen to the other episodes. If you want to follow the Nord Block Instagram, follow at Nord Block Pod. And that'll do it for this episode of the podcast. 13 is in the books. We'll see you guys next week for 14. But anyways, thank you all for watching or listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Ciao.
Adios.